Hitting that little shot, even just a metre or a couple of metres, is soul destroying and score destroying. Just as hitting the ball without hitting the ground at all and having it rocket across the other side of the green, and I may even have a more difficult shot than what I currently faced. So what I want to do is find a way that I can help ensure that I'm going to make these make contact better with all of these little shots. So let's look today at how we might go about doing that. So two things we're going to look at. One is related to body movement, but the second is going to be related to how I'm moving my wrist. Now, this little device here from Hack Motion is going to give me some information on how, in this case, my right wrist is moving. Now, I could have put this on either wrist for the purpose of this or even full swing, but we're going to have a look at what happens both with the poor shot and with the good shot when I'm playing this shot. I want to try and avoid having any deliberate wrist movement with these chip shots, either in the backswing or particularly swinging down and through. Now, when I make a swing, there will be some motion at my wrist, and really that's just a swinging weight of the club. So if I play a shot, and we'll have a look and see what the information, what the data says. When I'm playing the shot, the swinging motion of the club to me feels like I'm not using my wrist at all. So I swing the club back and down and through, and what you can see is that there actually is some movement there, some movement of the club. Now, the key distinction here is that it's not me moving the club with my wrists. As I swing the club back, say to here, and get to the end of my swing, my arms are slowing, but the club head's got some weight and some movement, and it's that swinging weight of the club head that is acting on my wrists and causing them to bend. Now, with that shot there, when I set myself up at address, my right wrist was bent back, say about 23 degrees. When I got to the end of the swing, because the club head kept going a little bit, it caused my wrist to bend roughly a further 15 degrees. Now this, of course, the amount of bend that's going to create is going to depend on the length of the shot and how quickly I'm swinging the club. But the key thing here is that it's a swinging weight of the club adding to it. When my club moves back towards the ball, the wrist will straighten out roughly back to where it was at the start. And again, it's just a swinging weight of the club. So I'm not trying to add anything to the swing as I go through. I'm just allowing the club to move freely. My feeling is that I get back to here and my arms are falling quite freely and my club's falling quite freely. So we can see that there is some motion at the wrist, but again, it's not me activating. If I activate my wrists and the club comes back to the ball either with the shaft too vertical or not hitting the ground correctly, which can easily occur when the shaft is too vertical, then it's very easy for me to hit either behind the ball or catch the ball thin. So that's the first thing we can look at. And with the data there, I can monitor that. If I see big changes through the wrist here, which I do in my coaching, then what I'm looking to do is modify that, and we can see great results straight away. And of course, if you happen to purchase one of these, which you can through the discount code in the description, then you can make those same discoveries and enjoy that same improvement yourself. Okay, let's have a look at the second thing that we're in these little pitch shots. So second thing I want to talk about is how pressure shifts during these shots, because it's different to a normal full swing. With a normal full swing, pressure is going to start off reasonably even on both feet, shift to the back foot in the backswing, move to the front foot, and then you'll swing the club down and through. With these chip shots, because we're looking for body stability, the movement is different. Now I'm going to make up these numbers, but it'll give you the gist of how we actually want to move when we're playing these shots. When I set myself up, I feel like I've got a little more balance. Let's call it 60% of pressure on my front foot. When I swing the club back, I feel now that I've got about 70%. So I'm never shifting pressure to my back foot during the backswing. When I swing the club to the ground, I now feel like I've got about 80% of pressure on my front foot. And then when I swing through, now I feel like I've got about 90%. So it's going to be something about the same amount of pressure when I'm making a full swing. Now, when I'm moving that way, if I make a practice swing here, you'll see that there's no massive movement in my body. My feet are close together. So if I start shifting my pressure a long way out, I'm likely to move out of centre and I can lose my balance when I'm playing the shot. So we're talking subtle here. So if I play this shot, watch the movement of my body. You'll see that there's a general movement toward the target as I'm playing the shot. So I'm never moving backwards. So the two things that we've looked at here, the movement of the wrist and the movement of the body during the swing, are probably the two key things that are going to give you the very best chance of striking the ball correctly. You do that with all these short chips and pitch shots, and I'll guarantee your short game's going to improve and your scores will come down in a hurry.